Hi, it's GAMEZOMATIK and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be having a look at the Steam controller, which I have recently just bought. Got this yesterday, been playing around with it, and I thought I'd do kind of a mini review or impressions of what I thought about this. I've been kind of excited about this coming out for quite a while, but then they've changed the design so many times, and then it was like when it came out, I think some of the reviews were pretty underwhelming. But it's something that really, because of the lack of space I have on the house and because of the way that I can only access my computer downstairs, I haven't got a mouse and keyboard or anything. It's kind of an essential or something that I really needed to pick up. So I thought I'd do a little video giving my impressions and a quick run through of what you can do with this. So let's get on with it. So when you get the product, this is sort of how it comes in the box. So you've got the old box there with the Steam controller, the old Steam logo in the corner here, and turn it over. It's got some kind of pictures and things about it. So play all your Steam games from your couch. So just you take that off. That's on the side, and we'll open the box up. And there we go, there it is, the Steam controller. Get the Steam controller itself, which will take out the box. We'll obviously have a look at that in a second. And then you also get a wire. This is if you want to play the controller with a wire rather than through the Bluetooth dongle. So if you don't want to put batteries in it and you want to plug it straight into your computer, you can play it like that. You also get the Bluetooth dongle, which is actually plugged into my computer at the moment, so I can't show you that. But it's nothing special, it's just a usual Bluetooth dongle. And you also get this, which is a little docking bay. And what you do is you can put your wire in here and then stick the dongle on top and have it sat sort of nicely on your desk, if you like, with the dongle kind of sticking out the top there. So, and then you get the product guide and a quick start guide, which is really, it is actually quite sort of just plug and play. So that's how it comes in the box anyway. Now we'll have a look at the actual controller, and this is the actual Steam controller. What I'll do is I'll go through some of the buttons on it first. So as you see, it comes with a thumbstick, like a normal thumbstick, and the 4 face buttons here, which are very much like Xbox buttons. You've got your Steam button here. If you press this, it takes you to the Steam home page or whatever, if you're in big picture mode. Even if you're just on a normal desktop and you press that button, it will take you into Steam, which is pretty cool. You've got your normal start select buttons, and of course you've got your 2 touchpads here, which I'll get into in a minute. On the back we have, or turn it over this way, on the back we have 2 shoulder buttons and 2 triggers. And we also have these 2, which are sort of like flappy paddles, and these are 2 buttons as well. So all in all, you've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttons. And there's the port there, again, if you want to run it wired. Now, getting back to these pads, these have got like touch sensitive, and they've actually got haptic, what they call haptic feedback in. So you can actually, as you touch them, you can actually get some kind of feedback through the actual pad, almost like a vibration. So you can feel your touches, and pretty sensitive as well. Another thing this controller has got, it's got a gyroscope in it, so you can actually use motion controls. I was playing a little bit of Shadow and Mordor, and when you draw the arrow, rather than having to use, because obviously you haven't got a right thumbstick or having to use a D-pad, you could sort of move to sort of precise aim. You could just rotate the actual controller, which is actually a pretty cool feature. I'll talk about what I think is good and bad on the pad. The buttons are a little bit clicky. These aren't too bad, but certainly these back ones, they're very kind of clicky. I wouldn't say it's the quietest pad in the world, but you know, it's not a major problem. Another thing I don't like, and this is my main issue with this pad, even though it takes a while to get used to not having a right thumbstick, the thing I'm not too keen about this pad is the placement of these four buttons. I do think, for one, they're too small, the buttons. They're quite a bit smaller than Xbox One buttons, as you can see. Size wise as well, it's slightly bigger than an Xbox One controller. And the other thing is, for my liking, they're too close together, these buttons. It's really easy, if you're looking at the screen, to hit the wrong button, or to accidentally hit the wrong button. And for me, that's a bit of a downside for this controller, that I'm not. Maybe it's just because I need to get used to it and play on it a little bit more. But it's the main thing on this controller that I don't like, is where these buttons are. The thumbstick is okay, quite happy where that is, and these things are in a great position. I would have preferred this to be up here somewhere and this down here. So the buttons were here, so I could use it like a normal thingy, and then if I needed to use this right pad, I could have just gone like that here. But maybe that's just personal preference. So yeah, it's quite comfortable to hold. It's got real good battery life on it, actually. I mean, I've only had it a day or two, so I don't know, but I've read it, apparently, off a fresh set of decent batteries, you'll get up to 80 hours on it, which is pretty cool. I use rechargeables anyway, so I can recharge my batteries, put them back in, and it'll last me ages. So yeah, it's really good. So that's kind of the layout of the controller. Like I said, it's pretty comfortable. I wouldn't say it was as good as the PlayStation 4 controller. That's my personal kind of favourite controller. That's really comfortable. But it's as comfortable as an Xbox One controller. And they're not that dissimilar to look at, really. So, other than you haven't got a D-pad on this one either. This is your D-pad. So, yeah, it's a pretty decent layout. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go through some of the Steam interface, if you like, and I'll show you what the buttons do within Steam. So what I'm going to do here is show you some of the features. I'm actually controlling the desktop with the Steam controller at the moment. So you can, as you can see, you can use the right tracker to scroll through your desktop. Obviously, if I go to like Google or whatever, you can see. And if you want to search the internet, you can just sort of you kind of right click, and it comes up with this keyboard. And what it is, you use the right touchpad to control the right side of the keyboard, and the left touchpad to control the left side of the keyboard. So if I just put in a website, I'm putting BBC, and then press and then you go up and you use the back trigger. You use the back two triggers as your mouse keys and press that, and then you go and go to BBC. It's actually pretty easy to use. It's really good, and you can scroll up and down using the left D-pad. You can use the triggers at the back, these two things, to kind of go back to your previous page or go forward. So as a web browser, it's pretty good. So you can use it for that, and you can use it to navigate your desktop, like I said. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the Steam button, which will bring up Big Picture Mode. And while in Big Picture Mode, you use the stick and the buttons. So you do that, and then we'll go, as you can see, you can navigate through Steam. So we can go to the Steam store. You just, it's just like using an Xbox, really. I do like this Big Picture Mode. It's pretty good, especially if you're using it on the big television down the stairs. It's pretty good. Go back, you go to my library, you can see all the games, all my Steam games. If you actually hold down, I don't know which one it is. If I go to the games, there you go, you can go to filter, you can search by filters on the games. That's my profile. it's really easy to navigate through the system. Now I'm going to try and launch a game here to show you how it works, and I'm going to show you a couple of different games. So we'll try System Shock 2, and I'm showing you this one because I actually configured this game to work with the controller myself. So we'll press play, press System Shock 2, it just loads up. As you can see, there we go, System Shock 2 main menu. We're just using the the mouse, and we'll go to load game, click that, engineering, click that, and load. As you can see, I've kind of got it set up, so I'm looking around using the right pad. I use the stick to move, so it's just really not that much different. I tried playing Call of Duty with this last night, and that was pretty tricky. It wasn't that accurate. I'd say if you're playing a fast-paced first-person shooter, this right tracker pad isn't really any good. Maybe you just need to get used to it because our minds are so kind of ingrained into using, you know, other controllers. But yeah, it's really difficult. So I've got that mapped to that. I can. Oh, I'm getting killed. Lots of radiation here. Better get out of here. I've got my inventory mapped to one of the back things, so I can move around if I want to change something in my inventory. Yeah, I'll use one of them, get rid of the radiation. I've got duck, and this right tracker pad is actually tracked to weapons, so I can get the pistol, I'll go back and get the wrench, and I'll get the SciAmp. And yeah, I mean, this is the first time really I've got a controller working with System Shock 2 really well, and I'm actually quite impressed. It might need a little bit of tweaking, but I'll show you that in a minute. There you go, there's a zombie, whatever it is. So it works pretty well. But I'm going to show you how how much you can customize it is really good. So what you do to customize your loadout is you just press the Steam button and go to configure controller, and every single button, every single trigger, everything on this is totally customizational. So you know, if I go to the pad here, if I can find it, there we go, that one. You press it, you can change the click action, you can change the sensitivity, the rotation, in case you tend to swipe sort of diagonally rather than across. Your friction, haptics intensity, that's how much vibration you get back through that particular trigger. And you can do this for everything. You can change the buttons. So I can map that, that's mapped to a D-pad. These could be mapped to a keyboard touch. You press that one, you can choose a key on a keyboard or whatever. You know, it's really, really customizational. And also what you can do is if you can't find one you like, if you press the blue button, you can go to this menu and it says recommended, so you've got official bindings, personal, they're ones you've made and you've saved, community, and these are sort of control configurations that other people have made. So yeah, it's really cool. There's lots of different options there. So what we'll do, we'll come out of that. So yeah, it works pretty well. It works really good in driving games as well. I was playing a Dirt 3 on it last night and that worked really well, no problems with that. The only sort of thing I wouldn't recommend it for is shooters. I don't think it works that well with shooters. But the one thing it really works well, and I'm going to show you this, is strategy games. And this is the main reason why I bought it. It's because I didn't have a way of playing strategy games on the big sort of in the living room or, you know, on the sofa. And this is absolutely just solves that straight away. It eliminates the need for a mouse and keyboard for games like this, and this is where I think it really comes into its own, this controller. So we'll just start off City Skylines. And I'll show you how it works in this. So as you can see, the right tracker button is again the mouse. I'll just put load game. Doesn't really matter, I'll just put load that one. There we go. Yeah, it works really well in these kind of games. I was also playing a little bit of Civilization on it. That works really well. You know, so if you play a lot of things like The Sims, or you know, and you want to play it without being hunched over a desk, then this is brilliant. So as you can see, this is City Skylines, and this works brilliantly. So kind of use the stick to move around the map. You can zoom in with the bumper buttons, and if you want to rotate, you just hold the tracker pad down and then move around, and you know, you can. It just works really well and it's quite intuitive. I mean, this is one of the first games I tried on it to see what it was like on sort of a strategy game, and I picked it up straight away. You know, I didn't even have to reconfigure it. It just felt natural pretty much straight away, and this is where it really comes into its own. So you know, if I want to build, say I build a park, we'll go down to parks or decoration. Here we go. We'll build a little park. We'll click on the park, and there's the park. Come over here. We'll find somewhere to put the park. I can find anywhere. Is that a good space yet? Yeah, I'll put it there. I'm not that bothered. Put it there. Come back down. Click on it, and there we go. And I'm doing all this using the controller. It's really easy to get around. And yeah, this is where the controller really comes into its own. So just works really, really well. And of course, you want to come out of the game, you just press the Steam button, exit game, close, and you're back on your Steam page. And you've got chat, community, you know, it's really easy to use. And you want to go back to your desktop, just press that, minimize, and you're back on your desktop. So what do I think of the Steam controller overall? Well, I think if you want a solution for using your computer in the living room, which is what essentially this is designed for, then it actually works really, really well. It's fantastic for kind of searching the internet or browsing the internet on your main television in your living room, and it's brilliant for using like a mouse and keyboard alternative in your living room, especially for strategy games. The only thing I wouldn't recommend it for is first-person shooters. I do feel that either an Xbox 360 controller or a mouse and keyboard is definitely superior than this for a first-person shooter. But for pretty much everything else, this is okay. So, and for the price as well, I mean, this cost me £45. For £45, you can't really moan too much. It's a pretty decent price. So yeah, would I recommend that you pick one up? If you're looking for an alternative to a mouse and keyboard and you haven't got the room or for a desk in your house and you want to use a computer for gaming in your living room, as long as you don't primarily play first person shooters, I definitely recommend this. The good thing is you can have this plugged in and still use an Xbox 360 controller. So if you've got, or an Xbox One controller, so if you've got a wireless adapter for both attached to your computer, you could use this for most of your gaming, and then maybe just for shooters use the other controller. The only other thing is, as far as I know, I might be wrong on this, so don't quote me on it, but you can only use PC games that run through Steam to use this. I did try and get a couple of games working with this sort of running in the background on Steam, but all the games running off my desktop and they didn't seem to link together. Maybe there is a way of doing that. I'll have to get more into it and study that, but I couldn't find a way to do that. So it's kind of tied into Steam, which sort of makes sense, I suppose, seeing as it is a Steam controller. But would I recommend getting one? Yeah, I definitely would recommend. At the price point that it's at, I definitely would recommend getting one, and especially if you like to do a lot of things like strategy gaming and things like that, where you need a mouse and keyboard, and also because just of the immense high level of customization that you can do with this controller. I mean, you really can map this to pretty much any game within Steam. Nearly every game within Steam that didn't support a controller that I tried worked with this and worked pretty well. And like I said, it was fully customizational. Is that even a word? You could customize it. So yeah, I would recommend that you get one. So yeah, that's my kind of mini review of the Steam controller. Thanks for watching, and I shall be back with another video soon.